I'm also going to record it, okay? And then, as I mentioned, we're ready. So Justin, share our screen. Yeah, just whenever you get ready, just go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, just are your team members all here?
Yeah, I checked in the participations and they should be in here.
Awesome, all right.
Let me know when you guys are in, so I can at least hear your voices.
Yeah, so for the team members, at least you guys unmute yourself, okay, so that we know who are presenting. Because if you unmute yourself, you will show up to the top, and then we'll at least know you, okay?
I'm here.
Awesome.
I'm here.
One.
Elo.
All right, sounds like everyone's here. All right, we're Team Steg. D is silent. My name is Justin.
My name is Edgar Chillin.
Hello,
My name is
Edwin.
Grant. Oh, sorry.
All right, and Samuel, are you here? Samuel, please. All right. Well, Samuel should be here. Maybe he's having some mic issues, but we'll move on with the presentation. We are planning to make a pet planner. And the problems we are trying to solve are trying to figure out the requirements of could you take care of this pet? Because during our interviews, we learned that a lot of owners are actually unable to provide proper care for their pets, meaning like don't have time to give them like walks or the proper attention, unaware of medical treatment costs. So it's like they don't budget for possible emergency trips to the clinic or yearly visits to the vet, which can lead to essentially giving up custody for your pet. I forgot to share my video. And then uninformed on like common health problems with their pets. So it's like, during interviews, you'll hear more about it. It's like not really taking consideration of how serious a problem can get. And for our first interview, it's like Lamborn, and I'll just let the audio play. Yusan, please let me know if you can't hear it.
The sound is kind of low. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Right, we can't hear it.
Right.
So Justin, what you can
Yes.
try, you can stop sharing when you start sharing again. The dialogue has a little checkbox saying sharing the audio. So
All right.
try that.
So stop sharing first?
Yeah, stop sharing and sharing again, and then look for that little checkbox at the bottom of the dialogue.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right.
All right, I am. Would you mind saying your name? Would you mind saying your name really quickly?
Yeah, perfect.
Nick Lamborn, or Nicholas Lamborn.
All right, and you're pre-vet. You've worked at a vet clinic before.
Yes.
How often does it seem like pets aren't very well taken care of? Not necessarily like abused, but just not well taken care of.
So at my clinic, I'd say we get generally several examples of that per day. It's normally not anything that would constitute abuse, maybe neglect. But generally, it's just because the owner doesn't recognize that what's going on is a big issue, or they've just waited too long and certain problems can snowball and get out of hand.
Right.
So there are lots of issues, especially things involving like the skin or ear infections, or tumors that have just been allowed to go on for way too long because the owner didn't think it was a big deal or didn't notice it.
Right.
And they then become serious issues.
Okay. Obviously.
All right. And that is our first interview. Thank you, Grant, for that audio. And for our second interview, ran by Edgar, and he's interviewing Julio.
And on average, how much do you think you have to spend on a pet?
I would say within a month. I think after fully matured with all the doctor visits and stuff like that, roughly estimate like maybe like $50 to $60 on just like food and toys.
And then in a scenario where, let's say, your pet needs maybe more medical attention, or maybe has a serious medical problem, will you able to take care of it and continue maybe live a comfortable lifestyle, or how would you deal with that?
I believe so. I mean, I'm pretty financially comfortable with my situation.
All right. Thank you for that interview, Edgar. And we will move on to our last slide, which is our solutions.
So our solution is that we want to build a pet adoption assisting tool, a web-based pet adoption assisting tool. Users will be asked to input information relevant to their ability to care for a pet, such as level of income, how much free time they have, space, both in terms of home square footage and yard size, and will be given a list of pets that fit their criteria. And from there, we hope that by streamlining the adoption research process, that more people will actually take the time to find a pet that they can responsibly care for, which will make sure that every pet is matched with a responsible owner and who can provide the best care possible.
That concludes our presentation, I believe. Any questions?
Awesome, very good. So any questions, guys?
Oh, let's see if I can open up the chat.
So did you guys find anything different after the interview in terms of problems or some of the solution features you were gonna focus?
Definitely for the pre-vet interview, I was like, oh, because he mentions that, like in the full interview, he mentions that he gets several cases of people not actually taking care of their pets. It's like it's kind of more like neglect, but not abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, like people don't actually do enough research, like common health issues like this breed has, and they're like, oh, it's whatever, it'll go away, and it doesn't.
I saw a question in the chat of the metrics to consider when making a decision. And I was actually thinking of that as well last night, of how can we use a user's response to match them up with a pet. And my first instinct, maybe I'll have to think more into it, just like rating, for example, a husky. Some people get huskies, they're super cute, super adorable, but they're super high maintenance. So their maintenance category be like a level 10 compared to like a pug, which is like a level 5 or 4. And then based off of the user's responses, like how much free time they have, we can rate their free time to like a level 10 or something. So they'll be able to be matched with the husky.
Okay, very cool.
All right.
Awesome.
And I'll stop sharing the screen. Thank you.
All right, good job. Okay, I think I saw something similar, but I think they were focusing on a different problem about the pet. And this one I really like it. It's really practical because a lot of people. I don't have much experience about the pet, but I can imagine some of this maintenance effort will be really, really high and more than you expected. Yeah. Good job. Okay, so this is Andrew's screen. So Andrew, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So
members all here?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Can you guys unmute?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for our project, we decided to name it Street Smart, and our team is Team Dakota Wild. I'm Andrew.
I'm Kobe.
I'm Celine.
I'm Daryl.
I'm Dakota.
And Kobe will be sharing what our problem was.
All right, so yeah, our problem basically comes down to inconsistency of traffic, how it varies enormously daily. So we have the issue of commuters often having to check traffic reports to get to and sometimes from school. And I realize this issue doesn't just pertain to getting to school. There's many areas in life, various appointments and things that we have to be mindful of traffic for. And we realize that Google Maps and Waze and major traffic providers lack functionality that allow for a scheduled traffic checker that provide notifications
on exactly when to leave for your next event. So
Yeah, so we asked 2 questions to our interviewers. And the first one was, have you ever been late to an event due to unexpected traffic? And then we asked, how heavily do you depend on Google Maps or Waze for the traffic function? And next will be our interview videos.
So on the left, I interviewed my cousin Ryan. He goes to school and he commutes every day. You can play the video.
What's your name?
My name's Ryan.
And what do you do?
I'm a student at a university.
So that means you drive around a lot, right?
Yes,
you commute?
Yep, about 30 minutes every day.
Have you ever been like late to school due to unexpected traffic?
Yes, I have. At least a couple times a week.
Like it's unexpected, and did you check Google Maps before?
Only if I don't check Google Maps. That way, before I go to class, I always like to check the traffic. That way, if I could see if I need to leave earlier or not, or if I run into traffic. And I also check Google Maps to see how long the traffic will last. That way, I could see if I'm going to be late to class or not.
Mm.
And then on the right, I interviewed my friend Nina. She goes to Cal State Fullerton, and she also works.
Have you ever been late due to unexpected traffic?
Personally, I'm a pretty timely person, but when it comes to work, there's often times where I leave the house at the time I'm supposed to be there, and then traffic often is on the street I go on, so yes.
How often do you depend on apps like Google's and Waze?
I depend on them a lot because I'm pretty bad at directions, so anytime I go anywhere new, I usually use Google Maps.
And then our next slide, Dakota will be talking about our solution.
So our solution for the problem is an app that notifies users of the best time to leave for any destination based off a predetermined schedule. So features for it include the ability to manually input your schedule, whether it's for your school classes, some activity or appointments you have, and that'll give you custom traffic alert times. With that, you also get push notifications regarding the best times to start a commute and push notifications for any unforeseen incidents. If traffic starts piling up for crashes, fires, anything that is unexpected. And the app is different because you're able to manually input your schedule or have a calendar to go along with your appointments and your school schedule, so you can get notifications that are tailored to you instead of having to go into Google Maps or Waze every time. So that is our proposal for this problem.
Thank you.
Right, awesome. Yeah, definitely agree with that problem. And even though Google has this Google Now, sometimes does give you that kind of notification before you leave, but it's kind of a little bit random. I think having this kind of fixed app definitely helps. So are you guys thinking about making an app as well?
Yeah, we'd like to. That'd be convenient.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'll stop sharing it.
Any other questions, comments?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Is the service still dependent on Google Maps for its information when to leave?
Depends on what APIs we can get to work.
Yeah, so what kind of API do you guys plan to use?
For now, for brainstorming, we did put Google Maps as an API we would possibly use, but we might look into it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I used something about Google Map. It's pretty complete. You can, for this purpose, I think you can get most of the information you need. All right, awesome. Okay, so Ashley, you guys can go ahead to show it.
Okay, so this is our idea pitch for Drink Finder web service, and our team members are me, Benjamin Chavez, Jeffrey McDonald, Tung Nguyen, and Wes Smith.
Oh, right, okay. So the main problem that we're trying to tackle is basically the problem of whether if somebody goes to Starbucks, whether or not they can like decide what drink to order in like a timely fashion. So maybe like if you go there, you end up like staring at the menu for like 5 minutes, and that's not very helpful. And then like even like when you do make a choice, you're not even sure if you're gonna like it. So something that you might do in advance is to like just go like search the web for like recommended drinks. But that might not necessarily be good because those suggestions aren't tailored to your personal tastes. And what we found was that like a lot of people get bored of ordering like the same drink every time because they don't know if any other drink is good and they just don't want to waste their money on something else.
And here's a video of our project idea when we interviewed surveys through Google Forms.
So for our initial solution, what we first came up with was pretty much like having a preset recipe list that would pretty much be like preset all the menu options that we have. So you pretty much see what exactly is in it. And pretty much people would just kind of choose from there. And it basically also as well track the drink spending and see if they're having too much expensive drinks at the beginning of the month and pretty much set limits so they would know exactly what they would get every month.
Hello. So after the survey was conducted, a couple things we realized is that the people who would use it would actually want more of like a quiz-based service, something more interactive instead of just a lot of text that would just show them different drink recipes and stuff like that. And one of the ways we'd go about it is ranking the drinks that they could order in regards to popularity. Maybe they're looking for something cheaper instead of more expensive, things like that, flavor, sweetness, etc.
Also, we figure out that the customer, they care about the recommendation rather than the secret recipe. Like they asking for a recommendation for hot drinks, what news. And so that I think that's where the secret recipes, they only ask when they drink so much and they want to figure out something that they have never tried before. But for the regular customer, they think about the drink recommendation rather than the secret recipe. And we also consider to build our web service as a quiz based. Then we can find out what the customer interested in. Right.
So that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions? How many surveys did you send out?
We sent out 54. We received 54
Wow.
surveys back.
A lot. Where did you send it?
We posted it all over and shared it with like people we knew, and then we got that many responses back.
It's awesome. Okay, very good. Did you learn anything unexpected?
Yeah, we realized that the actual problem that customers were actually facing was so far from what we originally thought, because like we thought it was more like recipes they're looking for, whereas it's actually like they want it to be more personally driven.
Got it. Okay, awesome. Really good. All right.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So hello everyone. My name is Marlon, and our team consists of Michael, Allison, and Ned. And here is our project proposal. So to start off with the problem, the pandemic has been a major source of anxiety and mental stress for a lot of people. Because of social distancing and no human interaction, people have felt feelings of loneliness and isolation, as well as fear and worry due to a new disease and other current events. Next slide. So moving on to our video interviews, we asked two questions to help with our solution, which were, in what ways has the pandemic affected your mental health, and how have you been able to cope? Can you guys hear the video?
We can. Just do the same thing, Martin. So stop sharing and share it again.
Okay.
See that checkbox.
Hi, Koya's project. So the pandemic affected my mental health by making things difficult, like socially. So it was really hard to see my friends, like go to the movie theaters together, or go to the park together, or go to the pool. And all of like the good, like enthralling social events that I planned out throughout the year, like got canceled, like traveling and going to concerts and going to parties and stuff like that. So I dealt with it by kind of just taking things slow. I started to meditate and take walks and do yoga and like spoil my dog even more and spend more time with my family. So that's how I've been coping. Yeah, woo!
So I'm interviewing my roommate Kyle Go. Kyle, how has the epidemic affected you mentally?
Definitely during the pandemic, it has been hard mentally. Just being at home, and like not having that routine, motivation is really down. But a way for me just trying to tackle that is like staying up with, keeping up with friends, asking how they're doing, asking how they're tackling the situation, and yeah, that's pretty much. It's been hard, but from all the support, it has been easier than. Yeah.
Awesome.
So based on your answers, we came up with an application that mainly focuses on mental health and self-improvement. Its main function is to allow users to self-assess and manage their mental well-being. And the features that we plan to implement are a personal journal section, and as well as a way to filter through good news stories on the internet. One of the features that we felt distinguishes us from other apps is a mood tracker based on the songs you've listened to. Um, Compared to other apps, they simply have a way to log your feelings on a monthly calendar, but we decided to go the extra mile where the app suggests songs that you may want to listen to based on your mood, as well as a breakdown of what songs you've been listening to that day. Next slide. And yeah, our team name is Team Banana Bread. Yep, and that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So how are you gonna know the sound you're listening?
So users will like record their mood and like will have like a Spotify playlist or something. I don't know. We haven't given it much thought yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, all right. Thanks, Martin. And no, you can go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Hello, everyone. Our team name is Potato Santa. Our team consists of 5 people: myself, Arturo, New, Stephen, Alisar, and Long. So a little bit of the intro for the problem. So this is a problem that everyone has. I think it's especially targeted to us because we apply to so many jobs. So our application is a job application management. But before we go further, I'm gonna let New show you guys the video of the interview.
So a little bit about our user background. We specifically target all job seekers, but 2 of our users are actually college students in the job searching process, like us. And here is a little video talking about their struggles.
For different applications, you need different resumes, like for data scientists or software engineers, you need different resumes, you need different things to brag about, basically. Like, be nice to know like which experiences to tell them, because some of the experiences might be useless for some applications to like fill out things that they don't want or they don't require.
Compare cultivated culture resume scanners to like, compare keyword match, and often these resume descriptions go away when the position is taken down. So having a stored copy of it would be helpful. Additionally, I think giving a more intuitive display to it would be nice. Sure, Excel is organized, but it has problems with text wrapping and formatting that I don't want to deal with, and having a tool that already handles that for me would be useful.
All right, so that was our interview. Now we're gonna go back to our problem. And Archie, we're gonna introduce our problem.
Yeah, so one of the main problems is actually updating and keeping track of job application status. That is like very common. And sure, you can say that you use Excel, but most people prefer something more UI friendly. And sometimes inputting stuff from into Excel is just not that practical, especially if you're using a phone. So having a website that would have a more user-friendly UI and more features like filtering or notifications that would remind you of like a lot of stuff that you can customize would be a lot nicer.
Some other problems include updating all the application status and following up with the interviewers, and keeping track of all the deadlines for a variety of applications can be confusing. So this web service would help with that. So our problem is basically how can we make this process a lot less painful and easier to manage so students can be more successful when pursuing job applications.
And so in terms of solution, the most important thing that we want to do is to create an easy to access single source platinum with an emphasis on a user-friendly UI that manages every detail of all the applications regardless of where that app was applied to. And then we have a lot of the features listed that we want to include, such as to classify and organize applications depending on users' criteria, such as deadline date, industry, etc., and keep track of any notes about the job and company, such as position, location, salary, etc.
Our app is also notified users about like the updates in the application process and deadline for like specific application. So what we really want to do is like automating the job application transition process. So there's our existing job application managers website also, but like the process of transition from applying to online assessment to phone interview or to on-site to accepted or rejected state, like the user have to doing by themselves. So our apps, so we are trying to create a web service that can automate this job, and also like we will notify the user about like new job posting based on the previous like criteria, and then it can be filtered from different platforms.
And any questions, suggestions?
Very good idea. Any questions? Where are you going to get all this job data, and how are you going to track them?
We were planning to do web scraping, and then to save every job application, we would probably make a web plugin.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I'll recommend you focus on specifically, for example, CS jobs. And then, because there's going to be tons of data, make something very specific really to us, and then you can just try to promote it among the CS majors. I think that's how you can scope it to a version that's more feasible to do. All right, and Michelle, you guys can start.
Good morning, everyone. Our team name is McJag. I'm Gina, and my teammates for this project are Michelle, Claire, Andy, and Joseph.
So after being in quarantine for about 5 months, we've noticed that we found it hard to keep track of like what day it is, what time of day it is. So then having to keep track of all of our important events like our online classes, our assignments, and projects have become a very difficult task for us.
I'm sure everyone's really tired of trying to keep up with the notifications from your Blackboard. Like, for example, like trying to make it online to your online class on time, or like coordinating the time for everyone to meet for your group project, or ensuring that your assignments are done on time. It can be very inconvenient just to use such a simple platform such as Blackboard, or honestly anything at all.
Here we have a video of people that we interviewed.
Hello, my name is Jose Spindola. Hello, my name is Jose Spindola. I'm a fourth-year student at Cal Poly Pomona, and I'm majoring in aerospace engineering.
Hi Jose, can you please tell me how do you keep track of your events and classes?
I use a combination between just notes and Blackboard.
Have you encountered, or do you encounter any problems with this method?
Yes, I constantly lose tracks of links and updates for classes, especially like my Zoom meetings. The links are all over the place since the professors don't have any specific area to post them.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Sabrina. I'm currently a fourth-year student at UC Berkeley, and I'm majoring in media studies.
Hi, how are you doing today, Sabrina?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just have a couple questions for you today. First one is, how have you been keeping track of your online classes and your other events?
I've been using a digital platform, which is the Google Calendar platform, which helps me schedule a lot of my both educational and personal schedules.
And do you have any issues with this platform?
The only issue that I currently have is the fact that all of my classes are online on Zoom, so it's kind of hard to keep everything organized with which classes the Zoom links go towards, or which meeting IDs that they have.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Becky, and I'm a computer science major at UC Irvine.
Hi, Becky. I was wondering, how do you keep track of all your online events and classes?
So the platform that UCI mainly uses is Canvas, and I just use a calendar that's already provided there.
And do you have any issues that come with using this method?
There's not really any major issues, but something minor that would help with organization and time management is a prior reminder to a Zoom session, something like how Google Calendar notifies you 15 minutes before your Zoom meeting.
All right, thank you for your time, Becky.
Okay, so for our solution, as remote work is becoming more utilized, the tools we use will also have to integrate into our daily lives. So we wanted to create basically a planner that not only keeps track of your schoolwork, but also helps you keep track of your personal life.
And with this planner, we plan to have it be Zoom integrated in order to help keep track of upcoming events or classes or meetings. And when it comes to large groups, this planner will also easily manage and keep track of all members by alerting them about upcoming events, due dates, or other events at a necessary time. And these are our roles, but they're still to be determined.
Any questions?
All right, any questions? This is definitely a very good problem to solve, and it's not just for colleges. It's maybe an even bigger problem for the younger students. And also, I think even after the virus, I think there will be still a majority of online classes. So this is definitely something useful. So I think just from what you guys learned from interview, eventually this is how you can make the whole user experience better. Obviously, we have all different kind of tools, calendars, and you can presume. The question is again, how can you make it really easy to use and easy to type, and to remind yourself it's all about user experience. Definitely, worth to try.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So Christian, you guys can go to start.
Oh, could you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right, Kenny, do you want to start us off?
Yep. Hello, we're Alpha Dynamite Squadron, and I'm Kenny, and our members are Christian, Kenny, Nicholas, and Ryan. So our problem is that during this time, and especially without online school, a lot of students also have hard times keeping track of what assignments are due. And like personally, I've accidentally missed an assignment so far. But a big important part is that typically students aren't too sure of how everyone else is doing in the class, especially if you're a bit less social compared to everyone. You may not know how everyone else is feeling. And if you're doing poorly, you don't know if it's just you or if it's the whole class. And also for platforms like Blackboard, when they remind you, it typically is fairly late and they don't actually remind you on time, as I've had reminders that something's due 2 hours after it's actually been due.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I interviewed my younger brother, Dante, a high school student.
I'm here with my younger brother, Dante, because I'm new.
Let me adjust the volume. Why is it this disappear?
I'm here with my younger brother.
You can hear it.
You can? Is it loud?
Yeah, it's fine.
Because I'm limited with who I can socially interact with. So, Dante, tell me a little bit about a problem that you have in your day-to-day life.
Well, with school being online, it's kind of hard sometimes to remember to turn in homework assignments. Like there's been a couple times where I've almost forgotten, and it's been pretty close. So something that would remind me more in advance would be pretty nice.
So like a web application or something that told you, hey, you have homework due in like X amount of days or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What other features would you like for that to have?
Maybe I could have it where like you set a time, like how long in advance you would like to be reminded, or how many times you want to be reminded.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Perfect. So thanks. Let's see what we can do.
Excuse the hair. It's COVID hair.
Hello, everyone. This is my. Want to briefly preface this one,
Hi,
Christian?
everyone. This is
Christian, and I interviewed a coworker of mine also about the same problem. Here's the interview. Hello, everyone. This is my friend here, Allison, and she was letting me know about some problems she was having now with online school.
Hi everyone, I'm Allison. I'm a fourth year college student, and I've typically only taken classes in person, so transitioning all my classes to online has been really difficult. I feel like I struggle the most with keeping all my quizzes and assignments and readings in order, and then I'm missing some when they come up. So that's probably been the biggest struggle going online, is just keeping track of everything going on, and I wish I had almost like a personal reminder just to remind me of everything.
Hello, everyone.
And that leads us to our solution, which is a web-based platform called You Forgot. And what our platform is it essentially will be a website where people can go, where we will have crowdsourced assignment information, where the app will function as a planner for students' homework and assignments. And it will send email reminders and notifications to people who are enrolled in courses. That way, anytime a user that belongs to one of the courses posts a new assignment in it, anyone else also enrolled in that course would receive a notification for that course. And then another big thing that our app will do that would help a lot of students is that when an assignment gets back, a lot of professors intentionally don't post class averages or scores for a particular assignment. So our website would also give students the option, if they wanted to post the grade they got on an assignment. And then we would go ahead and combine all of those and give some overall class metrics for any given course. And there wouldn't be a privacy concern here because this would be anonymous. So even if a course did have, say, 40 to 50 participants, no one's name is tied to any of the participants in the group. It's simply a username, like what you would see on Discord or something else. And then, of course, our platform will also have some social media features where if someone posts an assignment, like, for example, CS4800 homework 1-2, they post, hey, this is the assignment, this is when it's due. And they could put a brief description of it. Not only could people comment on it, but there'll be like a like and a dislike button, or they could either be like, I remembered, or, I forgot. And so it'll kind of be fun. And then users who upload more content, meaning like the main people who are uploading the majority of the assignments, they'll receive kind of like a karma similar to Reddit on their profile that shows, hey, this person's really on top of their assignments. And that's our presentation.
All right. Well, I really like some of these social features, and definitely make it a lot of fun. Any questions, comments? All right. Thanks a lot. That looks good. All right. Let's see the next team. And
okay, all right. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we are making like a sports matchmaking app, and we'll explain more about what that is later. Our team name is Object, and team members are me, Lilith, William, Alex, and Nelson.
Wow.
So this app is basically for us to help people find teams to play sports with people around their location. People would be able to filter out the sport they're looking for as well. This idea is designated to help eliminate finding and people when it comes to like team sports. If you go to like a new area or something like that.
So this is William, and this was the first potential user interview. I interviewed a friend I knew who just played a lot of sports, so he's able to give us a lot of good ideas.
Oh, hold on, it's muted on YouTube.
First question. Hi.
Hi, my name is William. Yeah, so I'm be interviewing Fernando Rodriguez just about sports in general, some sports that he plays on a daily basis. First question, Fernando, what kind of sports do you enjoy to play?
Some of the sports that I enjoy to play are basketball, I enjoy tennis, and also playing baseball.
So do you ever have trouble finding other people to play?
Every so often I do, like, especially right now amidst the pandemic.
When you do jump into like a pickup game, what are some of like your pet peeves?
Sometimes, you get like the ball hogs, the thing like, this is like the professionals and they just want to go all out. Sometimes they're not doing that good. Another big pet peeve sometimes is like, since there is a lot of people and there's like many teams kind of waiting on games, the waiting time can be kind of like 15, 20 minutes in between games.
Pretty much there are parks that are empty, but then that's a problem, right? Because then you can't find enough people to play.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's like you kind of have to try to find a balance.
Awesome. And hey, what's up, guys? So I interviewed my friend Jeremy, and some of the problems we discussed while interviewing him was the difficulty in finding a group of people to play with, or finding people with similar active interests, or even kind of pinpointing locations to play at. So Nathan, you can let the video play.
So Jeremy, would you consider yourself an active person outside of school? Yeah, I'd say so. Football, baseball, depending. Would you say it's easy to be able to play with a random group or a group you're comfortable with finding? Well, I'd say it's hard because first you're going to go to the park by yourself and you don't even know if there's a group there playing. So just timing that, right, it's kind of hard in itself. So usually if I have nobody to go play with, I just won't go. Would you be interested in trying out a possible app in which it allows people to kind of have an easier job in finding like that outside group to play with? Yeah, definitely. I think it would be a great way to, get a time and place and location down to meet up. Yeah. What I think would be really helpful is have it set by area, maybe like a radius around you. Gotcha. And by sport too.
Okay, thank you for the interview. So what are planned features? Users can create profile where they can post pictures and write a short description about themselves that other users can read. Users can manage each other to coordinate playing, message each other to coordinate playing. Users can search for users in their area and filter by parameters such as sport, gender, and skill levels. And users can search for public fields or courts in their areas. Thank you so much. This is our presentation.
All right, very cool. Just out of curiosity, what kind of sports are you guys going to focus on first?
I think just the major ones, like I know basketball is like a big one for pickup. But I know personally like soccer was one that I like to use. Especially when I moved schools, I was kind of looking for other people to play with. So we're definitely gonna focus on the bigger sports first, and then if the app works out right, maybe we can add more like niche sports.
Good. All right.
Hey guys, we're Compute Compare. I'm Alec.
I'm Natalie.
I'm Marcus.
And I'm Monica.
Perfect. So I'm going to be talking about the problem that we're trying to solve. There we go. So as kind of like a techie friend, I get asked often, like, what computer should I buy? What parts should I get? And not only is it tiring for us, but we think it could be very helpful for these people if there is some website to compare popular laptops and provide their specs so that people can go here and know what laptop or computer to buy. This will also help people who aren't very tech savvy because they'll have this website to just tell them, and it'll be ranked by a whole bunch of different things that we'll talk about in the solution.
Before we get started, I want to introduce my roommate Erica, who will be seen later on in the interview process.
Hi there, my name is Brian. I'm a student at Cal Poly Pomona. I'm studying electromechanical engineering, and just a few days ago I was looking for a laptop to purchase, and I found it particularly hard to find the laptop that I felt was right for myself, not only because I don't know much about computers in general, but because even online, there's a lot of opinion that's kind of confused with fact, I guess you could say, something around that, when finding a PC or a laptop, in my case, that would be configured appropriately for the requirements that I needed.
Okay, so like a couple of weeks ago, you approached me to do what for you?
To help me figure out what kind of computer was best for me.
I think especially when there are two laptops that are very close as far as like their capabilities. So maybe something like where the descriptions are being compared of two different model laptops, but if you find it more difficult, you'd be able to maybe click on an option that shows you even more detail.
I'm not one who really knows a lot about computers, so something that will make it easy, but also let me know what these specific parts do for me.
Okay.
One of the things that I was looking for was, how do I say this? How long the laptop itself will be able to keep up with future softwares, future programs, and in other words, it's a lifespan. You know, most people require certain specs, but don't realize that the specs that they're looking for are only going to last them for a year.
All right, so our solution to this problem is we're going to create a web service that lets users compare computers. We are going to try to do this as objectively as possible. So instead of relying on, oh, this brand is better, just kind of subjective things like that, we're going to do benchmark comparisons using the data individual components to compare laptops against each other. And based on the user's use case, we are going to weight certain components over others. So for gaming, for example, you're going to want a graphics card much more than if you're just doing regular desktop usage. And my friend mentioned that he'd like to see the lifespan. We can't really for sure say this laptop's going to last you for 5 years, something around that, but we can give warnings of components that are maybe adequate for the time being, but are likely to not be adequate in the future. For example, like if we go back to the example of gaming again, 8 gigabytes of RAM is still pretty common on a lot of computers, but it's becoming increasingly inadequate and games in the future might not run very well on it. So we might warn the user about that. And we might put links so the users could easily purchase the laptops they're looking at, and reviews, because even though performance is important, a very high performing computer might have very bad quality. So reviews are important to pull up there.
And that's the end of our slide. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, very cool. What is there any kind of a site existing, some kind of competitors? Does something similar?
There are other services that compare laptops, but I was looking and it's really hard to find them that really, they either oversimplify it, like they just say this laptop's better than another, they don't really give any detail, or they're very detailed and they say processor model numbers, but they don't really tell you what the components do, and they don't really give you an idea of why this laptop's going to be better, when it's going to be better.
Right.
Because certain laptops aren't always going to outperform others in all use cases.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, when you mentioned about 8 gigabytes memory, it reminds me my first computer had 8 megabytes memory, which was a lot at that time. But yeah, very quickly, some of the game I can't run. You need 16 megabytes memory to do it. Yeah, that was in the I think in the late 90s. All right. Okay, I like the idea. Yeah, I think a lot of it. It also I deal with a lot of younger students, like in the K-12 schools, and then there are actually a large number of students who are very, very interested in sound-like computers. I think this is definitely something that's very useful. All right. Okay, and Jimmy, you guys can go.
Our team is JS, Jimmy Stephan, and our project proposal is E2, a peer-to-peer tutoring program or platform. So here's some background on our potential users. Some pros and cons for tutors is that third-party tutoring services make it easy to find work and self-advertise. However, you don't own your source of income. Next slide. And as for students, third-party services make it easy to find a tutor, but it's expensive.
So we can't hear you.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
There's a little bit of noise back.
All right, hello. So, as I was saying, this background information is based off of our own perspectives because we do not have time to do this in class. However, we probably will make a use to get different perspectives and viewpoints. So what is eTutor? So you guys may or may not be familiar with the service ePal.gg or ego.gg. And actually, that's a service where people can pay others to have like let's say a League of Legends game for like $10 or a CS game or whatever. So it's a service that connects people together, basically. So it's like that for trading instead. So it's going to be a game-based app that.
Jimmy, I'm gonna have to interrupt you. Your mic is really, really, really bad.
Got it. Okay. Let me see what I can do. See, I was expecting that, but apparently, okay, nice.
No, we can't hear you now.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Oh, there we go. So what is eTutor? So eTutor is going to be a gig-based app that easily connects tutors and tutees. So it's going to be an online marketplace of knowledge, skills, and expertise. Basically, users can list themselves as tutors in areas of specific expertise. And then users who want to find a tutor can easily browse through the list of tutors and pick which person they want to set up an appointment with. There'll also be a rating and reviewing system. So then all the better tutors kind of get pushed up and all the kind of worst tutors kind of get pushed down based off just kind of crowdsourcing the ratings. So what problems will eTutor solve? First of all, there won't be any pricey middleman. It'll be a direct consumer model from tutor to tutee. So you can directly share that knowledge and have that like kind of direct relationship. So it'd also be easy publicity for tutors, and there'll be more choices for tutees. So basically tutors get essentially free advertising. They get to host themselves on a website and just kind of put themselves out there. Whereas tutees have a large amount of tutors to choose from and can choose the best person for the job. And of course, there's gonna be crowdsourced quality checking. Like I said before, depending on how a session goes, the tutee can rate the tutor and then they'll either rise up or rise down. All right, and that was our presentation. Thank you.
All right, is there any kind of a similar size that does this same kind of thing?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research on, there's a few websites who do something similar, but I don't think there's anything like really fleshed out or anything like fully complete.
Okay, all right.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, hello everyone. We are Team Python Sucks. My teammates are Harvey, Sean, Ian, and Jose. Uh, Here's the problem we found. If you look at Cal Poly Pomona subreddit, as you can see that there are no memes. The internet is a great source for memes, but they are often buried under unrelated content and are often hard to find. So next page. We asked two friends to summarize their grievance when browsing for me. And here's the video.
I can't hear the video.
You can't hear it? Oh.
Nah.
Let me try to reshare it again, right? Okay. Can you guys hear this time?
No.
Still
Did
not
you try to reshare it? So let's try this. Stop sharing, and then share it again. And then you will see a little checkbox in the sharing window dialog. It says share your audio.
Let me try.
All right. Again.
How about this time?
Sometimes,
Yeah,
after
now
a long day of school,
Okay.
I just want to relax and look at memes for the rest of the day. But manually navigating my favorite subreddits is laborious and repetitive. The Cal Poly Reddit, for example, is cluttered with non-meme bloat, and even after filtering them out with tags, I frequently encounter the same memes, regardless of the sorting order. If only there was a single place where I can browse an endless stream of random memes from my favorite sources and discover new memes I never would have found myself.
When it comes to browsing memes, the two biggest difficulties I find are repeats of memes and having to scroll, which I find to be hard on my wrist. I would say two solutions to this might be a service that filters out memes that I've already seen, so it filters out the repeats, and then also a service where I can use keyboard inputs to advance the picture instead of having to scroll.
Sometimes, after a long
Okay, Harvey will talk about the solution.
Okay, so to solve this problem, we decided that we're going to make a image board website that's specific to memes. So we're going to prioritize automatically sourcing our memes from the Cal Poly subreddit and entering them in the database for this image board. But as we figure out the backend stuff, we might extend support to like additional subreddits and like maybe even additional sites that have memes, but you want to like extract them out. The main page will primarily feature a single randomly chosen meme so that users can discover new memes. Kind of like Doge Weather, just something you could put as your homepage if people still do that. And then we're going to have an additional gallery page where you could just filter and browse an endless stream of memes. Maybe upvote the ones that they like, and probably provide additional sorting orders as well, you know, based on upvote or recency or a random sorting order. And we'll be using Ruby on Rails as our framework. And I know our friend Nick mentioned that he wanted to scroll with his keyboard, but there's this extension for Chrome called Vimium that lets you do that already. So I don't think that's that's that big of a deal. But yeah, that's our presentation.
All right, awesome. So why did you guys decide Ruby on Rails?
Because we don't have any experience for Ruby, so we thought, well, we'd learn the most new things if we were to use Ruby on Rails.
Okay.
And also in doing research, it's kind of like both front end and back end are bundled into the framework. So it's a pretty cohesive framework to work with.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, sounds good, guys.
Right.
Right. Jordan? Yeah, you can go ahead.
Let's see here. Is everybody, Matt, you want to go?
Yep. All right, so we are Jordan Sato, Serena Ng, Matthew Grassa, and Johnny Jung, and our group is called Error 404 Not Found. So our mission is to deliver a better degree progress report to CPP because Billy Bronco deserves better.
So every semester, you know, everybody has to go through these questions about picking classes, like what classes do I need to graduate? What classes have I already taken? What do I need to look at? Do I need the DPR? Do I need to look at curriculum sheets? Do I need to go talk to a counselor? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. So we're just going to go ahead and start with some of these user interviews that we did.
Yeah, so we can't hear you. And then you need to do the same thing to stop sharing. Share it again by checking the sharing audio option.
Let's see. Let's try that again, take 2.
The degree progress report doesn't show you like all the class descriptions and stuff like that. You have to have like a separate window to look at like the class descriptions and things. In our course catalog, it tries to model your curriculum sheet. But I mean, I remember like I still was looking at my sheet just because it was easier to see. Because like in one window, you can really only expand like one section. It's like GE area A, like I can only see that. And like I can't look at the whole thing, whereas the curriculum sheet you can.
That would be great. And then the way that electives are shown on the DPR, it's like one long line of electives. And I would like to see the name of the class too, because you see like CS3560 or CS3650, and they look very similar, but then you see that they're 2 different classes. So I think right now the DPR only has the number. It doesn't say the course name. It doesn't say the prereqs for that class. So it's definitely not updated. So since we started in the quarter system, I feel like my DPR is still running off of the quarter system.
But after the semester conversion, it pretty much became obsolete for my needs. It was a clean way for me to look at all of my information for my undergrad, but it eventually just showed incorrect unit counts, wrong course fulfillments, and just inconsistent data. So I just had to stop using it because it just did not work.
Okay, so we're going to go into the solutions and features. So what we want to do is we want to create a one-stop shop to where you can see all the completed and planned out classes. So it's just a quick and easy way to figure out what classes you need to complete. So it also includes some features like we want to make sure the DPR emulates the curriculum sheet, so it's easier to keep track of the completed classes between semesters as well. We also want to have connectivity between the DPR and course catalog, so you can easily look at prerequisites. We also want an easy way to contact advisors, because at the bottom there's like this section where it's like unused units and you don't know what to do with it. This way it's easy to figure out who you need to contact. You have an easy way to figure out emails, phone numbers, things like that. The technology we plan on using, we want to use Java Spring for our web service. We're going to use Vue.js for our front end and MongoDB for our database. That's it.
All right, very cool. And I think this will be really useful, especially right now with remote. And also one idea you can try is probably try to do a chatbot type of app. There are actually a lot of tools that allows you to do the chatbot. So, and that kind of experience might be more interesting, right? So Sam, let's actually try next time, because I think we're going to run out of time. So we still have about 6 or 7 teams left. So we'll actually do on Thursday. Okay. All right. Well, all very good ideas. Okay. Hopefully, learn something from the users' feedback. And as I mentioned, just don't wait on us to tell you anything specific step. Start learning the front end stuff, backend database, assign a task to everyone, get started on the project so that you can. All right, so we'll resume the presentation on Thursday. We should be able to finish that very quickly. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, I will still be here available if you want to chat more, and then otherwise I will see you on Thursday.